I've seasoned it as they basically run a load of coffee through it to try and make it consistent. Inside here are what we call the burrs. The burrs are obviously razor sharp to begin with, and they need to be bedded in, so I've tried to do that the best that I can. I will show you now how to make the adjustments, the fine adjustments, to try and calibrate the grinder. You shouldn't have to do it too much, but it's certainly something that you want to get used to doing, because it will produce better coffee by you mastering the grinder, which is probably the most important bit. So obviously the beans go on the top. If you want to take this off for cleaning, you can. If you slide this along, stops the beans dropping out. You've got a little locking screw in here. You can actually then remove the hopper for cleaning without the beans falling everywhere. If you want to get soapy water, rinse under the tap, keep it nice and clean. Obviously put that back in, slide that back out so that the beans drop back down in. So on the top of here is how you adjust the fineness or coarseness of the coffee beans. Pretty sure when you're going to be at Kendrick's, they're going to probably show you on a Mazzer. This is virtually the same grinder. On the back, if you just pop your phone around there, you'll see that there's a symbol for fine and coarse with an arrow. If I turn this wheel that way, anti-clockwise, it will make the coffee fine and more powdery and more like sand, makes the water go through the coffee slower. If I turn the wheel clockwise, makes it coarser, more like pebbles, water will flow through that really quickly like filter coffee. This will not adjust unless this button here gets pressed. It's a little locking mechanism that stops that being adjusted accidentally. Now, to make an adjustment to fine, what I do is I push that down and I can push the wheel and make it finer. Only tiny adjustments. I've done the big adjustment because from it being new. And if I want to make it coarser, push it down and I go a bit coarser. I'm actually going to make it a little bit finer because it was a bit quick. You might have to make adjustments. Like I say, brand new grinder, you might have to make a slight adjustment. So basically that sorts out the fineness or coarseness of the coffee. Now if you've got that down, what you can do is use a set of scales. You grind the coffee and say for instance Ken just want you to use 17 grams of coffee. What you would then do, get your handle, pop that in. Should have zeroed these first. Probably not going to be the same weight, but basically I just want to demonstrate to you. Obviously I've zeroed the handle, pop that on there. 20 grams it's showing me now, so there's too much coffee in there, so I can take that out manually if I wanted to. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust the time of how long it grinds for. If you hold, there's a manual as well, it's very handy. If you hold this double button down, it takes you into the grind mode setting. Grind time, that's what we want, so we enter that. Single dose, well we're not doing single doses, so we'll enter and scroll on to the next bit. Double dose, we are going to do double shots. It's grinding too much, so I want to reduce the time. So if I start reducing the time, and I enter that to save, what should happen now? Make sure that is, yeah, see they're not the same weight, so I've zeroed that. I now do the same process again. Pop that on the scales, 15 grams thereabouts. So I can then increase the time or decrease the time. Like I say, once it's bedded in, you won't have to do that often. You can still get a decent, the fact that it's grinding on demand, you're going to get a far superior coffee than one that had the chamber with the doser on it, because what happens is coffee once ground will oxidise within about 5-10 minutes. You're still going to get a nice coffee, even if it's 15 grams or if it's 18 grams, it's still going to be good, it's just not going to be as per set before. So like I say, don't worry yourself too much over it, but as long as you're getting a nice extraction from the coffee, then that is good. On the grinder as well, you've got your hand symbol. This is a manual if you wanted to do that. So if you keep your finger pressed, it will grind manually for you. Obviously the single has been set to whatever the single was set to. If you want for cleaning, this pops out, you can actually clean the chute. You can run the hoover up inside there, make sure there's no sticky coffee in there. Just put that back on there. And obviously if you want to turn the grinder off, it's just on the side there.